Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, guys, mashallah, this is from the Mail Online. It was an article that was published back in April 2016. Okay, mashallah, feedback from Manchester. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. He's on the WhatsApp, the science distribution list. Alhamdulillah, there was a mention about the beneson report, which seems to be it most likely actually came from the beneson's group, but not for the intentions that it purportedly was seems to have been commissioned for. But I think rather it was to curb this movement of very competent researchers who are trying to get to the bottom of this agenda to stage an extraterrestrial contact. And it's almost to discredit those sort of like researchers and their work. And at least that seems to be the underlying reason and agenda behind such a document. So it's on the face of it, it's they've falsely made it look as though it was commissioned by Hillary Clinton's campaign and Hillary Clinton. But the underlining, I guess, effect of that particular document from the beneson group that's been going around seems to be to discredit the work of competent researchers who are researching this agenda. Now, I'll quickly go through this, and I'm going to take you to another video just recently uploaded by Richie, which is pretty darn accurate if I ever saw a reasonable explanation as to this particular technology that's discussed in the beneson's document, which in fact turns out to be a laser created image in the atmosphere. Anyway, powerful laser beams cut through the sky above Paranal Observatory in Chile on Tuesday, forming massive artificial stars that will light the way for future astronomical research. The new system creates the most powerful laser-guided stars ever used and makes up a crucial component of the European Southern Observatory Very Large Telescope. Guide stars help telescopes to see through the blurrings caused by the Earth's atmosphere, and the revolutionary use of multiple beams aims to improve image quality over a large field of view. Okay, so that seems to be the observatory, that seems to be the laser that creates this sort of a star in the atmosphere. This is what I was trying to draw your attention to. This particular image is in the beneson's document that's going around right now, doing its rounds in the research circles, and purportedly claiming that this is holographic technology, when in fact it basically does far less than what holographic technology does, but it can create a focal point which is quite bright and making it seemingly look like a star in the sky. Now, I want you guys to listen attentively to what our friend Richie over here has got to say about this topic, and I'm certainly on board with him on this, on his outlook.
And while I'm doing that, I'm showing you actual stars and other anomalies caught by other YouTubers through a telescope. At any rate, astronomers have been analyzing light signals from 2.5 million stars observed by the Sloan Digital Sky Survey and have detected strange strobe light bursts coming from not one but 234 stars. The pair went so far as to suggest that these light pulses have exactly the shape of an extraterrestrial intelligence signal, and now have Stephen Hawking's alien hunting mission is in on the cause to confirm or disprove these claims. Let's be clear right off the bat. The claim by astronomers...
Now, as I see it, in terms of the PSYOP, Stephen Hawking has always been acted as the celebrity physicist, along with that Japanese guy. His name doesn't come to mind at the moment. But Stephen Hawking certainly the kind of physicist and astrophysicist that they've kind of created a persona around. They've even created movies behind this guy, and again, it's just to lull in the so-called intellectual demographic who basically will be drawn to his position, his observations, and his outlook.
Romano Bora and Eric Trottier from Laval University in Canada that 234 extraterrestrial civilizations might be beaming a coordinated light signal toward Earth based on anomalies in the data is extremely premature. It is also pretty irresponsible to be throwing the possibility of aliens around, given the fact that the paper has yet to be formally peer-reviewed or in replication of the results have not been attempted by an independent research team. It is also worth noting that the research from the Breakthrough Listen program, funded by Stephen Hawking and Russian billionaire Yuri Milner, and run by the SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Research Center at the University of California, Berkeley, says aliens are about the last thing they expect to find when they investigate these claims. But when the universe, or let's be honest, human error serves up something intriguing, it is almost always worth a second look. The 1 in 10,000 objects with unusual spectra seen by Bora and Trottier are certainly worthy of additional study, the SETI Research Center announced in a statement last week. However, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. It is too early to unequivocally attribute these purported signals to the activities of extraterrestrial civilizations. So let's run through what Bora and Trottier have actually found. Things start off a little wobbly because, as Shannon Hall explains for New Scientist, Bora has hypothesized back in 2012 that if an extraterrestrial civilization wanted to contact us, it would make sense to beam laser pulses at us that look unnatural enough to warrant investigation. Now, on that topic, I'm going to pause this video. Do you see what I'm showing you right here? This is one of the many red, blue, and yellow flashing objects that are in our sky right now.
Now, I found a lot of researchers who are also observing the same thing, right? And seeing the same thing. So, I mean, certainly this is something that needs to be maybe looked at further and investigated further, and to see if we can maybe perhaps connect the dots to this development.
And these things are not in outer space. They're below the sodium layer, which is only 55 miles above the Earth's surface. That's just what I'm telling you, and that's exactly what this is right here. This was videotaped by a YouTuber called Search for Answers. I'll leave a link to him and everybody else in the description. But the stuff they're talking about is basically a cover story for what a lot of us have been talking about in the background for years. First, there was only a couple of these objects right here, and now there's dozens of them. And it seems in the last couple of months they've become more active like this. This is allegedly a star, mind you, but they've also become lower in our atmosphere. And if you go out tonight and look around, no matter where you are, you'll see them. As long as you can see the sky, you'll see these things right here because a lot of people have videotaped them on YouTube. All right, now back to the article. And there's our first warning signal. A good scientist knows not to approach data with a preferred result or preconceived notion in mind because that can introduce bias, and the scientist could subconsciously or otherwise ignore information that goes against that. The pair reports that they detected the exact type of signal they have been looking for in some 234 stars. We find that detective signals have exactly the shape of an ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence signal, predicted in the previous publications, and are therefore in agreement with this hypothesis. They conclude in a paper on preprint website arxiv.org. As Hall explains for New Scientist, if you take aliens out of it, what they find was that the overwhelming majority of the 2.5 million stars that are in the same spectral class as our sun, but 234 of them beaming pulses of the same periodicity, roughly 1.65 picoseconds towards Earth. Could it be human or software error in data collaborations or analysis? Absolutely, and the pair's conclusions have, not surprisingly, been met with a whole lot of criticism in the scientific community. Well, of course they have, because it's a cover-up. What we're seeing in the night sky is not what they tell us we're seeing. This is an actual star through a telescope with a camera attached to it. These are real images. And if you throw away the stupid NASA scopes and all the crap that they show you on their scopes and go outside and look into the sky with astronomical binoculars or telescopes, you'll see what I'm showing right here. And it's rampant. These things are everywhere. Back to the article, because I'm supposed to be redoing this video, but I keep getting caught up in it. Okay, where was I? There is perhaps no bolder claim that one could make in observational astrophysics than the discovery of intelligent life beyond Earth. Director of the SETI Research Center at Berkeley, Andrew Simeon, told Hall. It's an incredibly profound subject, and of course that's why many of us devote our lives to the field and put so much energy into trying to answer these questions. But you can't make such definitive statements about detections unless you've exhausted every possible means of follow-up. That's why SETI Research Program and Breakthroughs Listen Project have decided to get involved. They want to know what's really going on here. They explain that we already have intentionally agreed upon protocols. If you want to find evidence of advanced life beyond Earth, which include independent verification using 2 or more telescopes and careful work to determine false positive rates and rule out all other explanations. They've also established a 0 to 10 scale for quantifying detections of phenomena that may indicate the existence of advanced life beyond the Earth, called the Rio scale. They say the Bora-Trotter result is currently at 0 or 1, none or insignificant on the scale, but they're still determined to get to the bottom of the things. The Berkeley SETI Research Center team has added several stars from the Bora and Trotter sample to the Breakthrough Listen observing queue on the 2.4-meter automated planet finder optical telescope they announced last week. The capabilities of the APF spectroscope are well matched to those of the original detection, and these independent follow-up observations will enable us to verify or refute the reported detections. We'll have to wait and see what they find, but let's all be glad. If someone wants to throw claims of aliens around, they better be ready to answer to the SETI researchers first. Okay, why did I just read that entire article from Science Magazine or whatever it was? Let me check the article, because I'm doing this on 2 split screens. Science Alert Magazine. Why did I just read that? Because these things that we've been seeing in the sky for years. This is one of the things that actually woke me up, seeing these things in the sky and nobody had an explanation, or they didn't even admit they were there. These things were 1 in a million, and now they're everywhere, and they're much lower now. I always thought that it might have something to do with Project Bluebeam, because the colors that are on these things that are flashing are the same colors you would find in the back of a flat screen television. The colors that this are flashing could be used for a staged alien invasion. That's what I'm telling you. Richie from Boston. I've already finished reading the article. This is just me now. But if you simply invest in a telescope or astronomical binoculars, this is Richie from Boston again, you'll discover that everything that they tell us that's up there makes absolutely no sense. All the stars appear to be in water. You know what I mean? And I'll leave you links in the description. But these are all actual stars. Where is it? Where is it? I got Saturn around here someplace. You know what I mean? These all look just like things you would see underwater. But they've become so rampant in the atmosphere that science is now putting Stephen Hawking's name on there. I don't actually believe Stephen Hawking is even real. I think he's just a muppet hooked up to a computer that they roll around. No offense to Dr. Hawkins, but that's what I believe. Because everything they've ever shown us since I was born has been a lie, one way or the other.
So true.
Why would this be any different? The only reason they're even addressing this issue right here is because lots of people are starting to notice it, and it's starting to show up on YouTube. At any rate, for all those that asked me to redo the video, I redid the video. It's not exactly the same. I still read the same article, but I put more of my own insight in it. And one other thing that I can't help but notice, the fact that out of millions of stars in the sky, 234 of them are giving them this strobe light signal. Strobe light signal. Well, 234 added to 432 is 666. That's all I'm saying.
Subhanallah. Okay, that's interesting.
And this is Saturn through a Nikon P900 camera. And I did videotape what they call Venus with a cell phone pretty well. So something's up, no pun intended.
Okay guys, Jazakallah khairan wa ahsanu jazaa for your time. That was a very interesting update and an upload to the vlog. It certainly gives us a different perspective on a lot of the anomalies. Again, the technology that I just showed you from the Daily Mail online could very easily be used in the outer reaches of space, and then use it from a distance to project just above the Earth's atmosphere what seem to look like pulsing stars. So quite possibly the one that I've been observing as well and seeing, and has been seen in Pakistan, could very possibly be this technology, right? To just draw our attention towards it. And again, Richie has certainly got a very, very interesting outlook on it, and I certainly am very curious and wanting to explore this possibility further. Anyway, Jazakallahu khairan wa ahsanu jazaa for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.